Ever feel like the pressure of the game gets too much? Maybe you're anxious before a game, maybe you're overcritical of your performances after it. Now, whether you're playing for a local team, maybe you're pushing to go pro, or you're actually a pro player right now, the stress you deal with off the pitch can change the way that you play on it. And if you've ever wondered how the very best players handle this and what you can learn from them, then you're in the right place. Stick around, because today I'm going to be revealing the secrets that top-level players use to stay calm, to stay focused, and to stay resilient, no matter what the pressure is that they're facing. Trust me, you do not have to be a Premier League player to start using the strategies that we're going to go into today. Now, if you are new to my channel, I'm Mark Bowden. I'm a mental performance coach to professional football players, mainly at Premier League and Championship level. I'm also the author of the book, Use Your Brain, Raise Your Game. Now, if you're not new to my channel, welcome back. Now, as I said, today we are diving in to this side of football, a side of football that rarely gets the spotlight, the pressures and the stresses off the pitch that can affect anyone's game on it. And this is whether you're a Sunday League player, a pro player, or a player with professional ambitions. Now, football is not just physical. The mental game is just as important, if not more important. And managing stress can be a serious game changer. And we're going to break down now how these hidden pressures work, and more importantly, how you can start handling them like a top-level Premier League superstar. Now, when we look at professional footballers, it is easy to think that they have it all figured out. The truth is, they face intense pressure off the pitch that goes way beyond game day. And that pressure is something every player can relate to. Now, pro players might have to deal with big media scrutiny or public responsibilities, but many of us are also juggling our own stresses, family issues, school, jobs, and much, much more. Now, we've got to keep our game strong when life is pulling us in every direction. Now, every player, no matter what level of experience, is going to differ in the levels of stress and the pressure off the pitch. And this can be directly related to your game or have nothing to do with it whatsoever. And these pressures fill what we call the stress bucket. And here's the thing, when there is no outlet, this stress will eventually build up and spill over, and then this will impact confidence, motivation, focus, leading you to overthinking, anxiety, can lead to anger and losing control, and it will most definitely impact upon your performance on game day. Now, just think of the worst you, performing as badly as you ever have. This is where you start moving towards as your stress bucket starts filling up. Now, if you are wondering how this stress does actually impact upon performance, what happens is that when this bucket overflows, it doesn't just create mental exhaustion, it affects everything. We're talking sleep, focus, motivation, and ultimately performances just drop. I mean, take Jesse Lingard, for example. His story is one that really hits home. He's spoken openly about how his family struggles off the pitch affected his game, and everyone can see it. There were noticeable dips in performances. He went from the highest of the highs, and his levels and the standard that he's playing at now has dropped so much. Now, this isn't something only the pros face either. Any player can experience it. When your stress spills over, it shows up in your decision making, it shows up in your reactions, even your ability to enjoy the game. Good news is that there are ways that we can turn on the tap, letting out the stress from the stress bucket, and we can do this in healthy ways, way before it takes over your game. Now, let's look at some of these taps now that we can use to let this stress out in a manageable way. Let's look at physical activity beyond training. Now, you might be thinking, certainly if you're a pro player, aren't I already doing enough physical activity with training already? But here's a twist. Physical activity beyond the pitch can actually refresh the mind. Now, have you ever noticed that players like Harry Kane spend a lot of time playing golf? Now, it's not just a hobby, it is a way to relax the mind while staying active. And it doesn't have to be an expensive hobby like golf. It can be something like swimming, cycling, yoga. All of these things can create a mental and physical reset. And if you're an amateur player or a player with a busy life, try fitting in something simpler, just maybe a jog or a bike ride. This extra activity will clear your mind, and help release that buildup of stress. Now, next, I want you to consider mindfulness or visualization, or mindfulness and visualization. These can be powerful tools that can really help to release stress. Now, many athletes are using them to stay calm under pressure. Mindfulness practices can include simple things like deep breathing or meditation, and visualization is the practice of mentally rehearsing either your game or other aspects of your life. If you're not familiar with these practices, consider using an app like Headspace or Calm. These can be great as a starting point to help guide you into meditation. Now, this is definitely a technique that doesn't need to take long, but it can make a massive difference, even if you're only playing at a local level. Now, next, consider journaling, because journaling is another stress-releasing method that is easy to start and easy to maintain. Writing down thoughts and feelings gives you a place to reflect and even set objectives. Now, after a game or training or even a day in the office, a quick journal entry about what went well, what didn't, and what you'd like to improve upon can help you to process everything. Now, even for pros, it is a great way to gain clarity. And another big one now is to build strong social connections. Now, our brains thrive on social connectivity. Never underestimate the power of a strong support network. Having people that you can talk to, whether they're friends, teammates, or even family, this will create a safe space to share the wins and the losses of your game, of your day, and of your life. Now, Lionel Messi was a brilliant example of this. He has leaned on his family for emotional support, and many other pros have close mentors who help them deal with these tough moments. And even if you're playing for a local league club or a school team, if you have a friend to vent to or a coach to talk things over with, this can be one of the very best ways to keeping your mind balanced. And another thing that I really want to mention here is that why managing stress matters in the long term and not just a short-term view for your performance on the pitch. Now, footballers who make practices like we've just talked about part of their routine do not just protect their game in the short term, they are building long-term resilience. Now, look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He has played at the very top of his game for years. Part of this comes from his commitment to recovery and stress management off the pitch. Now, this type of mental resilience doesn't just keep players in the game longer, it also reduces the risk of burnout and the risk of injury. It'll make them stronger and more adaptable over time. So now you know what some of these taps are to release this stress. Let's look at how you can adapt them to bring them all in as part of a daily routine, whether you're a weekend player, an academy player, or playing in the Champions League, as I know there are a lot of players at this level who are now following my channel. Now, when you are brave enough, make sure you drop a comment below as well. Now, anyway, here we go. Let's give you a routine. Now, first of all, let's do a weekly stress check-in. Just take 10 minutes every week to check in with yourself. What is adding stress to your life? When you identify these, look at ways that you could potentially address them, deal with them, or even let go of them altogether. And now, the daily meditation practice. Start with just 5 or 10 minutes every day for deep breathing or meditation. As I said, you can try an app for guiding you in this, but just a few minutes every day can make a big difference to releasing that stress from your stress bucket. And journaling after each game or training session, just jot down what went well, what you can improve, and any objectives for next time. The simple habit will clear your mental clutter, letting you focus better on the pitch. And next, engage in a non-football activity every week. Now, choose an activity that is not particularly physically engaging, but is mentally relaxing. So this could be yoga, it could be swimming, or even like Harry Kane, maybe it is golf. Even a quick walk can help you to relieve stress. And next is to connect with someone. Go for a coffee with a friend, have lunch with them, connect with them. Our brains are mentally stronger and more robust when we have positive interactions with others. And this one really is important. Cultivate those friendships, as they really will assist you in life. And now please do me a favor and be a brilliant teammate. Share this in your WhatsApp groups. Of course, ultimately, this is going to help you to perform better on the football pitch. But the basis of this, the underlying elements of all this, is in mental health. By you sharing this with your teammates or your friend, it can make a big difference to how you or someone else deals with life in general. And the importance of this can never be underestimated, because you never know how much of an improvement you could make to someone's life by sharing this with them, as we never really know what others are going through.